Andrew Houston here from Profit for Contractors, and I want to help you in addressing this question, which is, am I pricing my jobs profitably every single time? We are going to get in this today. I'm going to have you walk away having insights like you've never had before on what you have to look at, what you have to include in order to make sure that you're pricing your jobs profitably every single time. We are going to cover off something called your break-even margin. And yes, it's going to be a little bit of math. It's not going to be difficult, but look it. For us to become business owners, for us to think like business owners and be successful business owners, we have to do things that the successful business owners do. One of the key things that they do is they understand what formulas, they understand what dashboards and what pieces of data that they need to look at to make great business decisions, not just okay business decisions, but great business decisions. And it's those business owners that are allowed to dominate the market. It's those business owners that are able to beat the competition and see things that others don't see. That's always our core question in these trading tips, is to be able to answer that question, right? What is it that I don't see? So I'm going to help you with that today. So what we're going to cover off is this simple formula called your break-even margin. And quite simply, your break-even margin is the percentage of fixed cost over your total sales. Okay? It's the amount of expenses. When we talk about fixed expenses, we're talking about things like your leases, we're talking about your hydro, your bell, your cell phone bill, the salaries, things that whether or not you get a sale or not, you've got to pay. I mean, you know what those things are, okay? We need to consider that when we go to price jobs, because if we don't, we are not ensuring that we're putting the right amount of profits, the right amount of margin on those jobs, that when we win them and when we do them, we can pay for those overhead expenses. We can pay for those fixed costs. So let's take a look. Let's use this example. Say we've got a company, and really simply, this company's fixed expenses, all those expenses I just talked about, is $70K. Okay? Fixed expenses. Their total sales is, in this case, $500,000. Okay? It's going to be different for every single contractor, and this is also super critical because when you're trying to figure out this formula, don't just assume what your break-even margin is. You have to calculate it, okay? I see this happen all the time with contractors. They talk to another contractor and another contractor, and they go, hey man, what do you put on your jobs? How much margin do you put on this type of work? The problem with that is that if you do not know what your break-even margin is, you do not truly know how much profit you are putting on the job and how much profit you should expect to get out of the job. And if you don't understand your break-even margin and put enough margin to cover your fixed expenses, you might actually be pricing the job to not make a profit and you don't even know it, okay? So let's take a look at this. 70K divided by 500K, what do we get? And I'm putting this in red for a reason. 14%. 14% is our break-even margin. So what? Well, this is the so what. Say this company is putting 20% margin on their quotes. And they're not even considering their break-even margin. They're not even considering how much percentage they got to put on their quotes to cover their overhead expenses. That is the same as taking 20% margin, taking away 14%. In reality, all that they're going to have left, if they're lucky, if everything goes perfectly smooth, which we all know that happens, right? Nothing goes wrong when we go to do our jobs, right? Things always go wrong, right? They'd be lucky. They'd be lucky to make 6%. One little curveball and that 6% could be gone in a heartbeat. So you need to figure out what your break-even margin is, and you need to include this break-even margin on every single quote that you do. Every single quote that you do. Now here's a bit of a kicker. I want you guys to be able to take this break-even margin and take it to a completely different level. Trust me, this will allow you to get an unfair advantage over your competition. So just pay close attention. Just like a farm, like I grew up on a farm, with my parents, there was different cycles, different seasons in the business, right? Where there's winter, there's spring, there's fall. Things got busier, things got slower. Contracting is quite similar. It usually has a couple of different seasons in it. So when we're looking at these different seasons, what typically happens through these different months in the year, right? We'll just put a few months here. So January, March, April, May, June. Okay, I think that's good enough. What tends to happen is we get this, if this is sales, we tend to get certain cycles that's a bit of a roller coaster. Okay? That's normal, okay, in the trades, right? Especially here in Canada or certain parts of the States where you get winter. I mean, things change, right? People can't build foundations as easily and things slow down and expenses go up, all those kind of things. But here's where break-even margin is even more important. You need to track your sales, and this is why. Let's say that this contracting company's sales cycle was following its normal trend, but then something happened. Maybe it was the economy, maybe they just weren't quoting jobs profitably, maybe that contracting company wasn't paying attention to their Class A clients, and they allowed the competition to get in through the back door. But let's just say that their sales started to go down. Now, using that previous example, that contracting company, they were putting 20% margin on their quotes, right? Now, based upon the previous example, they should have been putting at least 34% on their quotes if they wanted to make 20 points, but they didn't, right? Their break-even margin at that point in time, with those numbers, was 14%. Now watch the danger zone. Here it comes. The sales starts tanking. So instead of them making $500,000, this company, their sales goes down to $350,000 in sales. For whatever reason, this number changes. And let's just say, we take a look at this, $70,000 divided by $350,000, get ready for it, is 20%. 20%. $20 minus 20%, you got the math right. They are quoting jobs to make zero profit. So listen, you can do this. You can learn this. You can apply this to your business. You just need to believe that you can do it, and you need to understand the importance of it. This could be the difference between a business going bankrupt. This could be the difference between a company working 12 months, maybe you've experienced this, right? Months and months and months and months and months, working so hard, and at the end of the day, you got nothing left, right? You sacrifice time away from the family, you're putting in the 50, 60, 70, maybe plus hours, and you're like, man, no matter how hard I work, no matter how many jobs I quote and how many jobs we win, I'm not making the profits that I really want to make. I'm, in some cases, not making any profits. This is not the answer to everything, but it is definitely one of the core principles that you need to include when you're pricing your jobs. Otherwise, I guarantee you are at a significant risk at not pricing your jobs profitably. No matter how good you are at determining the hours or the material or all the extras, whatever, if this is not included, then there's no way for you to be able to know that you're going to make the profits that you should make. Okay? So make sure you track your sales. That same report that I asked you to get your bookkeeper to generate, or the admin person or whoever, that give you the 12-month profit and loss, that is going to show you your last 12 months of sales, it's going to show you your last 12 months of fixed expenses, can easily be used to generate a historical report of the typical trends of your contracting business, which are going to be different for everybody. But you need to be aware of these trends so that you know where the warning signs are. Like here, so that we can start asking some really smart questions, and we can start actually making some really good call to actions of knowing what to stop, what to start, what to keep, to make sure that our business is going in the right direction so that we maximize our profitability. So that is the insights on today's trading tip. Use it, apply it. This can be applied instantly tomorrow morning. As fast as you get that profit and loss statement, you can easily do that calculation. I'd love to see your comments below. I'd love to hear how you guys, for any of you guys that have applied this, how this has helped you. And if you got any questions, put it down in the comments section. Love to help you guys out. Don't go through all the years of pain that I went through. You know, go from decades to days of me trying to figure out what the problem was, losing tons of profit, working so hard for so little, and really take your business, take you as a business owner to the next level. And you know, don't look for perfection. Just rough it. Get the numbers. Start plugging them in. Start getting some insights. Start looking at things a little bit differently. And you know what? It's interesting. When we're able to answer this question, you know, what don't we see? And we're able to see what we need to see, like this, when we're pricing jobs, you'd be amazed at how quick you're able to make the right decisions, make the right changes to very quickly change your business. And I really believe that you are just one strategy away. Maybe this is the one strategy, okay? From taking your contracting business, taking you and your team, and you know what that business gives you, the life and freedom, to the next level. Just one strategy. So I look forward to seeing you guys on the flip side. Andrew Houston from Profit for Contractors. Ciao.